Welcome back to our channel, Curious Minds. Today, we're diving into a tale that feels like it's been ripped straight from the pages of a conspiracy thriller. Imagine a grand ship, the Titanic, destined for glory but tragically sinking on its maiden voyage. Now, what if I told you that this disaster was more than just a maritime tragedy? What if it was part of a grander scheme to create something as monumental as the Federal Reserve? Pour yourself a cup of cocoa, settle in, and join us as we unravel this intriguing and often misinterpreted story. Was the Titanic sunk to create the Federal Reserve? The hidden connection. Now, before we get into the heart of this captivating theory, let's set the stage. The Titanic was a marvel of engineering, touted as unsinkable when it set sail from Southampton to New York in April 1912. Tragically, on the night of April 14th, 1912, the Titanic struck an iceberg and went down, resulting in the loss of over 1,500 lives. But why would anyone link this disaster to the formation of the Federal Reserve? To understand this connection, we first need to explore the Federal Reserve itself. Established in 1913, the Federal Reserve is the central bank of the United States, responsible for managing the country's monetary policy and banking system. Now, here's where our story takes a turn. According to some conspiracy theorists, a group of powerful financiers had a hand in orchestrating the Titanic disaster. These theorists suggest that several prominent opponents of the Federal Reserve were also aboard the Titanic that fateful night. Notable among them were John Jacob Astor IV, Benjamin Guggenheim, and Isidor Straus, the co-owner of Macy's. These men were feared by the proponents of the Federal Reserve because of their strong anti-central bank sentiments. The theory posits that their demise would pave the way for the Federal Reserve's establishment, removing key opposition voices from the conversation. But let's pause for a moment. While this theory is gripping, it's essential to examine the facts. The historical context shows that the Federal Reserve's creation was part of a series of economic disturbances and ongoing discussions about financial reform that preceded the Titanic tragedy. The Panic of 1907, which was a severe financial crisis, had already set the groundwork for the Federal Reserve. Congress and several economic thinkers were pushing for a central bank for years before the Titanic ever sailed. Now, let's get into the juicy details of why this theory gained traction. The early 20th century was a time of social and economic change. The United States was emerging as a world power, and with that came both the hope of more stability and the greed that often accompanies power. Conspiracy theories have a way of emerging whenever there's a massive societal change, especially when tragic events occur side by side with pivotal moments in history. After the Titanic sank, there was public outrage, fascination, and, of course, speculation. Conspiracy theories flourished, fueled by the writings of those who believed that the wealthy elite were capable of orchestrating such a disaster. Furthermore, the Titanic's sinking revealed flaws in maritime safety, leading to international policy changes. Some theorists argue that this catastrophe was certainly a shock to the system. Could that shock have been utilized for a larger agenda? A narrative about the elite manipulating events often appeals to a collective distrust of authority. Especially during uncertain times, it's essential also to consider the historical timelines. While Titanic sank in April 1912, the Federal Reserve Act was not signed until December 23, 1913. Hence, a year and a half later. It begs the question, if the Titanic disaster was connected to the creation of the Federal Reserve, why wait so long to implement it? So, what can we take away from this sprawling net of connections, speculation, and sensationalism? It's a reminder of how history can be both compelling and complex. Conspiracy theories, like the Titanic Fed theory, reveal truths about human nature, distrust, and the fear of the unknown. While it's true that the Titanic brought about a shift in maritime policy, attributing its sinking to the rise of the Federal Reserve is at best tenuous. Disasters shattering societal norms often spur theories that keep our imaginations alive. Imagination can lead to innovation, but can also lead to the spread of misinformation. If you enjoyed this dive into a fascinating piece of history and speculation, give us a thumbs up and share your thoughts below. Do you believe the Titanic tragedy was part of a bigger conspiracy? Or do you think it was a tragic accident with political implications, rather than orchestrated intent? Don't forget to subscribe for more engaging stories that connect science, technology, and history like you've never seen before. Until next time, keep questioning and keep exploring.